Wouldn't it be nice if the world would just pause, and then you're lost in some beautiful forever? To have a moment apart, alone in the quiet, with chaos all around. For most of my life, I've been a mountain climber, being born and raised in Colorado. For a while now, I've had my sights set on the 13er Pacific Peak. A 13er is a mountain standing over 13,000 feet above sea level. Last winter, I attempted to summit the mountain, only to turn back in negative 20-degree weather. For this next attempt at the summit, I wanted to bring one of my old friends from high school along, Connor. Now, Connor and I have had some great climbing experience together. We did Kelso Ridge once in 2017, and once again in 2019, a Class 3 route up the 14er Torrey's Peak, with decent exposure and technical climbing. This is our story of summiting Pacific Peak, and our moment apart from the chaos all around. We chose to climb Pacific Peak from the West Ridge, a 4-mile round-trip hike with 2,600 feet of elevation gain. We pitched camp around 11,800 feet at the top of the valley and planned to summit the following morning. We snowshoed to the base of the peak, which took us around 2 hours. I don't know about this part, dude. It's kind of awkward to get over. Yeah. Basically what had happened was that the route that we took was blocked, and so we had to down climb, which was a little sketchy and not good. Our first attempt at the summit from the West Ridge was unsuccessful, but Connor and I didn't give up. I think it was probably a few nights after we got back around 11 p.m. that Connor texted me about this route named North Couloir on Pacific Peak. I started researching it, found some pictures and said, man, if it looks bad in the photos, it's absolutely terrible in real life. I mean, we're talking 60-degree slopes within the couloir, and this couloir was flanked by decayed 5.9 class rock, making it almost impossible to get out if something went wrong within the couloir. We joked about it for a little bit, like, what if we actually did this? And then, all of a sudden, we're like, hell, let's do it. This route had a good history of springer ascents, but I knew that we needed some practice first. So I began looking at Quandary Peak, a 14er in the 10-mile range, literally next door to Pacific Peak. I knew that this peak offered some good couloirs to practice on, and so we chose Crystal Couloir as a stepping stone for North Couloir on Pacific Peak.
We're at the base of the couloir now. We're about to don our crampons and all that fun stuff. So yeah, it's been pretty grueling. Take a look at it. It's
Crux Couloir is only a 2-mile round-trip hike, but with 2,575 feet of elevation gain. The climb up Quandary Peak took us no more than 2 hours and was good training for the both of us. After summiting Quandary Peak, it was only a matter of waiting for a weather window to open up on Pacific Peak to attempt another summit via North Couloir. We were checking NOAA, the Colorado Avalanche Information Center, and even 14ers.com to get any condition updates on the peak or any surrounding peaks. Soon enough, a weather window opened up for us, and so we packed our gear and headed up to the mountains.
Alright, so we're at the trailhead, Spruce Creek. Woo! Brandon and I, Connor.
Let's go.
We have a lot of stuff, as you can tell.
We're packed down.
Oh yeah.
But it's gonna be necessary for the North Couloir.
Alright, we're on the final push now. The base camp, it's getting pretty steep.
Our plan was to establish a base camp and hike the couloir the following morning. The hike to base camp was 3 miles with over 1,500 feet of elevation gain. But in the last half mile we faced a head wall with over 1,000 feet of elevation gain. With 55-pound packs, it was quite the leg burner.
Well, we found a good spot up here. Pretty promising area. We're gonna camp for the night and take a look. Pacific Peak is right up there, kind of in the sun. View from outside our tent, and yeah, we're heading up tomorrow. About 3:30 in the morning. We're gonna get going shortly here. Ooh, a little windy last night. Sure, at 11. It's kind of died off right now, so not too bad. So we're gonna get going. Let's go. I'm gonna try to get going by 4:15. It's about an hour hike to the base. All right.
Watch out for this little guy.
Okay.
The hike to the base of the couloir was a little tricky, as we had to avoid walking on 4 frozen lakes in the valley.
That was a little sketchy.
We would follow the route outlined up the couloir. Once at the base, it would only be 800 vertical feet to the summit. Doesn't sound too bad until you mention the 60-degree vertical slopes we had to climb up.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so we're at the base right now. You can see it. A little sunny out. I have some slides, but nothing too serious. Got our crampons on. And, yeah, it's a beautiful day up here for sure. Let's get this.
Fuck, dude, we're about to turn the corner.
Yep. What a freaking hell of a workout. Woo!
It's gonna be real nice when we get into that shadow.
Oh yeah. Alright, so we just crossed into the couloir, made the left turn. Down there you can see the tower. Connor's way down there. Got a little bit left to go. Pretty steep. A little bit left to go, pretty steep. This is pushing like 55, 60 degrees in some spots. Yeah, this is beautiful. See the end of the couloir, looks pretty good. Snow's pretty good up here, it ain't too bad. A little bit of the ridge. Check out this awesome view behind me. It's pretty freaking neat. Absolutely gorgeous up here today. All right, about 100 feet from the top of the couloir. Having a good time. My buddy Connor and I are scaling this. It's been a grind, but yeah, we're ready to be done.
If you didn't catch that, a rock about the size of a baseball missed my head by about a foot. Talking about a close encounter. The crux of the climb involved a 15-foot section of snow right at the top that was around 75 degrees. It made for a good calf burner right at the end. The view from the top was truly breathtaking, as the visibility must have been around 50 miles. You could see the Maroon Bells to the west, Long's Peak to the north, and Pikes Peak to the south. Our moment apart on Pacific Peak could not have been better.